man. Yes, woo indeed. Hello, world. What is up? Welcome to Build. I'm your host, Matt Forte. We are here live at the Build Studio in New York City. Our next guest has a ton of awesome stuff coming out right now. She stars as Lucy Stevens in Pokemon Detective Pikachu. She'll be back as Abigail Carlson in Season 2 of Big Little Lies. And streaming right now, you can catch her starring in the Netflix original series, The Society. The super talented and super busy Kathryn Newton is in the building. How we feel about that? I'm excited. Are you excited? You should be excited. They're excited. We're going to bring her out in just a second, but first, we got a trailer for The Society, so let's go ahead and run that clip.
6 months ago, we were children. This is who we are now. This place looks like home, but it's not.
There's nothing out there, guys. We're all alone.
Mom, I'm alive, and Allie is alive. We just want to be with you at home. If there is a home. Everything that kept us safe is gone.
Why don't you split the difference?
There's no civilization here, not until we start one.
When we all fall asleep, where do we go?
Just putting these ideas in their heads. Now they made her queen.
Careful.
Say it, spit it out.
You like the way things are?
What is it exactly? Today I'm thinking about
What did you have in mind?
things that are deadly.
We're not gonna ask for power. We're gonna take it.
Bury a friend.
I'm not afraid of you.
You should be. We're so fucking in over our heads.
Do you want chaos?
They have too much power. What do they say when we can't hear them? Cannibal class, killing the sun. Bury a friend. That's what I'm afraid of. What do you want from me? Why don't you run from me?
Ladies and gentlemen, make a crazy amount of noise. It's Kathryn Newton right here. It's right here. Come on now. Oh. This show, first of all, let's start there. Congratulations. This show is awesome. Oh, did you, when you dropped it, you might have. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to talk for a little bit while they repair that, and I'm going to tell you about why this show is incredible, and we get you a microphone that works. I got a chance to watch this entire show. I binged it, of course, as many people have, and it is amazing. But not just this show, which we're going to spend a lot of time talking about. You are having an incredible time in your life right now. Is that not correct?
Hello, thank you. Maybe you can turn it on.
Yeah, you go for that.
I have been having the best month ever. I had Pokemon Detective Pikachu come out and The Society. They were both released the same day.
Same day.
So I've had just it's been a big celebration. It's like Kathryn Day. And I've had so many friends actually go the first day to go see the movie, and so many friends already binge the season, and I'm like, thank you. And they love it. So it's just been really fun to get to celebrate these projects.
It's pretty, and you've been working for a while. You've done a lot of amazing stuff. This is not new for you to be doing amazing stuff, but it's a unique experience to have so much happening at once. And is that why you're surprised that all your friends have been going out and binging everything and seeing everything?
Different
Is it just
because
so much?
I worked so hard on these projects, especially The Society. It's like my baby, just being on that set every day, so committed to the role, and watching it, I can't even watch it and be like, oh yeah, it's good, or I like it, because I just look at it and I'm like, that day was this day. It's like looking at memories.
Yeah.
So to hear people finally watching it and falling in love with all the characters on the show has really blown me away. It's like it's finally becoming real.
Yeah, and it's also it's so much fun for that fresh set of eyes, that fresh perspective, right? Because like you said, you've experienced it one way and you see it one way, and then it finally you get this new light that shines on it, and it's a really cool way to view it.
I love getting tagged in memes.
Yeah.
I've been memed so many times now, and I love when they ship characters together. There's so many videos of Allie and Harry,
Yeah.
and they edit them. I'm blown away by that. I love that. I'm that person who goes through the hashtag The Society and watches.
Is that how you're killing time while you're traveling all over the world?
It
right
really
now?
is.
You're just
I
scrolling
need to
through?
turn my phone off and delete Twitter and Instagram for a week or something, and I probably will. But right now I'm really indulging.
Would you say this is probably one of the most rapid fan based responses you've seen like in your history of doing this
I
stuff?
have almost gotten like 100,000 followers in a day.
That's insane.
Like, I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah, what does that do? How do you feel about that when you see that number climb like that?
Well, it just makes me hope that people are doing that because they like the show and are liking the character and, want to see pictures of my poodles. Give it a follow.
You have wonderful poodles.
Thank you.
Yes.
I do. They're good.
And your golf photos are fun as well.
My golf pictures get no like.
No love for the golf
Nobody
pictures.
cares about the golf pictures. The dog ones do better than the golf, so.
I'm not necessarily surprised by that. It's not a bias I have. It's just the internet.
I know. I just want to please the followers. Like, what do you guys want to see? Like, more poodles? More golf swings? Poodles. See, I know.
A very enthusiastic vote for poodles.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
You know what
maybe,
you do?
What?
Golf with the poodles.
Oh yeah, they're my caddy. I mean, I bring my dogs on the golf course for sure all the time. Yeah.
Are you allowed to do that traditionally, or
no? But you can't stop me. No one's gonna say anything once you're out there.
It's kind of the summer of Kathryn right now. It's a Newtonian summer.
Oh my
it's
gosh, Newtonian summer.
There's a lot going on. I do want to dive into this deep, and we're going to get into this show in a minute because there's so many fun things to talk about. But I do just for a moment want to keep talking about how crazy your life is right now because you were just literally all over the world.
Right. So I started in Beijing for Pokemon, and I got to use some of my Mandarin and talk to some of the fans. And it's very different when you're promoting a film in like Japan, like the Pokemon company. We had dinner every night all together as like a team, which I loved because it just press is so strange and you just talk about the movie and yourself all the time. And it's nice when you feel like you're just like a family.
Yeah.
The whole movie has just been the best.
Pretty
Then we were in
amazing.
Tokyo. We went to Shibuya Crossing and we walked around and we went to the robot bar. Have you guys ever been to like the robot restaurant? It's like, it looks like Transformers are having a fight in your living room. It's insane.
That's wild. And have you? I mean, you've traveled before, but not this extensively. This
No,
has got to be a new
and
life
it's
experience.
different. Like I got to share the experience with my co-star Justice Smith, who's like my best friend. Yeah. And so when you get to share it with someone, it makes it more real. Totally. And we just felt like we were 7 years old, like running around an amusement park in Japan. Like we felt like rock stars in Japan as well. Like we were really popular in Japan. I was like, why isn't it like this in America? like no one cares.
All we care about over here is the poodles. That's it.
Well, it's just a different culture. Right, so you care about the poodles here. Okay, I'll just carry them around. I almost brought my little one because my little one, I have three. Yeah. I have the tiny one who I just call her Tiny, and she's a really good set dog, and I like carry her on my lap and everything. And then I got the standard Starlight Rosebud, hella good boy, gonna need a big bank, but I call him Buddy. And then I have the mini, and his name is Jack, King, ruler of all floof. Naturally, they have long names.
Ruler of all, is that the full name?
I actually am missing a part, but don't worry about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll do that next time.
It's on the Instagram.
Can I tell you something? This show, famous for people bringing their dogs with them for interviews.
What?
Yeah,
I'm totally going to do that next time.
Next time you come in,
doing that.
Bring your dog.
Oh my
100%,
gosh.
110,000%.
You don't even have to ask me twice.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. I've asked you once. I'm going to stop right there. So that's incredible. So you got to travel the world. I know the answer to this question, but did you carve out any time where you had 12 hours of non-press and you just got to explore?
We
or was it
really
too
did
much
not
of that?
have that much time to do anything except, promote the film and meet the fans. But I had so much fun getting dressed for this press tour because it was such a big movie. Yeah. And I don't have a stylist, but I have a lot of people who help me. And I got the most beautiful red dress from Valentino from the Tokyo collection. Yeah. And then in the Times Square premiere, I wore this giant pink Ralph and Russo dress that was literally like a Jigglypuff.
The Jigglypuff inspired,
It was genuinely a Jigglypuff dress.
It's gorgeous, yeah.
But going to Japan, I was very inspired by Harajuku and wanted to feel like I was in Tokyo promoting. It was just fun. That whole
so amazing. Let me ask you this: with all these things coming out at once, typically that doesn't mean that you worked on everything at once. Usually you work on a bunch of different things, and then pieces fall where they may. But how did that work out with these 3 different projects? Did anything overlap? Were you bouncing between things?
I've been bouncing between projects, overlapping projects. The last 3 years, I'd be doing 2 projects at the same time, flying back and forth, from Atlanta for Blockers to Little Women in Ireland, and then London for Pokemon, and then New York for Ben is Back. That was kind of at the same time, and then Pokemon overlapped into the Society just by a little. I had to fly to Japan while we were filming the Society, and then we filmed the Society in Boston, and I lived on a farmhouse, which was really cool. I would go pluck arugula and like we'd make fresh pasta with the cast. It was great. We had our first like Friendsgiving. It was like the first time as like a 20-year-old, like I had friends over and we had dinner for the first time, and it was awesome.
Were you all living in one giant house, or were you all like one? Because I read
got a
somewhere
house.
that
I got a house because I wanted to be able to have everyone over.
You wanted to host.
Reese
have people.
gave me that advice after Big Little Lies, and I told her at the show. She was like, "Okay, so you have to have everybody over for Sunday night dinners. You got to take them bowling. You got to go to the movies." So I did all of that, and I loved having the big space because it was just a place to hang out and like have game night and play cards. Like that's literally what we did. Such a good group, really good group.
That's pretty wild, and you're out there picking arugula.
Yeah. Out there with the animals, with the chickens.
What
got
kind of
my
animals?
eggs.
You had chickens.
There were chickens. There weren't that many animals. Some horses, but mostly arugula.
Do you have left an impression, the arugula? Do you have any prior experience in farm life? Did you grow up with
Absolutely
animals?
not. I'm from Miami, Florida, and I live in LA now. So no,
Not a lot of chickens.
I don't plan on farming. I hardly know how to cook. But I'm gonna figure it out.
Like a small part of you sounds like it kind of fell in love with that life while you were doing this?
I definitely liked it. I also just liked being with my cast all the time.
Yeah.
Like we would just run around the fields,
How many of you? What's the largest dinner you did?
Everybody
in this photo,
which is like 12 or 13, I think. And then we have a couple other castmates not pictured.
Yeah.
So it was a party.
That sounds like a party.
It's been good. Yeah.
Let me ask you this: how'd you come to be on this show? How did it all start? Let's go back to the beginning. Let's
How
start
did
at the
it all
top.
start? I mean, so I had just done Blockers and Pokemon, and I was really interested in changing it up, doing something darker, right?
Right.
And Chris Kaiser, they offered me this job of Allie, and I was like, what is this? This role? And I don't know if you guys know, but it's like a modern day Lord of the Flies. And so it's kind of an excuse to get some teenagers in a place without parents. Yeah. That's like what we were just talking about. So you have a bunch of kids who have to learn how to rule the world. And my character is reluctant to being like a new king of this society. And she's kind of pushed into this place of authority and has to learn how to use her power. And I really loved her. I felt like I was nothing like her, and I could never do that. And I liked her journey because she changes from a person who thinks she's got nothing going for her, has no real future, lives in her sister's shadow, to someone who is almost like a king. Genuinely, we went back, and I did research like Catherine the Great. We went back to like medieval times, and like we're looking at the historical references of like the people closest to you who take you down, like your brothers and your cousins, and the same kind of things happen to her. So it's a very smart show. And I was excited because not only Allie's role, but all of the characters, none of them are stereotyped. None of them are like the hot girl or like the nerdy guy. Like they're really not. Yeah. And even if you think they might be at first, every single one of them has a storyline that changes and they're transformed by the end. So I was into that. I'm very character driven.
It sounds like, I get that, especially, so that's something you seek out, you're looking for. You wanted to go darker. You wanted to mix things up.
Geez, guys, let me tell you.
It gets real.
It's so dark.
It's very dark.
Every night I had to come home and watch The Office and take a bath on my farmhouse. Go look at the chickens.
It sounds like a rough go. How far? Not to go too off the tangent here, but how many times have you watched The Office? Have you one of those people?
I've watched it twice now.
Okay.
I've watched it twice.
You're on your second run,
which is to me crazy. Just doing it twice is crazy. But I'm a big fan of like Billie Eilish, and she said she watched it like 12 times.
I believe it. No.
I was a little blown away.
But people don't watch it in the sense that they put it on, sit down, I'm watching 3 episodes tonight. You put it on to go to bed. You put it on to relax.
I watch it and like...
You browse a little bit while it's on.
I also love the characters.
Yeah,
I think the ensemble aspect, like I love ensemble shows.
Yeah, 100%. All right, back to this.
You're
on this really dark show. And one of the things I was saying that I love about it is, yes, there is this supernatural mystery at play, but it's really not about that. The supernatural mystery, you get little breadcrumbs here and there, so that's still a part of the show, but it is all in service of getting these characters together and seeing how they literally start from scratch. They have to rebuild society. Like, it's very aptly titled. Like, that's what they have to figure out.
They really rebuild a society, guys.
They do it.
And if you can imagine, being a teenager, it doesn't turn out too well.
Precisely.
It doesn't work out. I mean, that's what it explores as well, is as a human, we can be beautiful, but we can also be really ugly. Yes. And these characters are both beautiful and ugly, all of them. And so...
How much?
Get into it. I also just love the love triangles and stuff.
Oh, there's tons
of
that.
I'm that, like I ship.
Go for it. Who are you shipping right
I
now?
love Helena and Luke.
Yes.
I totally love Harry and Allie, mostly because I've seen so many edits, and I like all the edits.
No, those edits exist for a reason.
Campbell and Elle need help.
Lots
They need
of
a
help.
lot of help.
is the
Gordy and
understatement of the
Cassandra
century.
forever. Oh, man, you guys got to watch.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's a smart show. It's a dark show, but it's also fun. There are these fun
I just think
elements.
teenagers are smarter than we usually see them on TV. You know what I
Precisely.
mean? I love youth. I've always been obsessed.
I've
always been obsessed with like being a teenager. Like I'll never forget turning 13, and then when I turned 20, I was like, this is the worst day of my life because being a teenager is awesome. And teenagers are everything. So in the show, I feel like you'll if you're a teenager too, you'll feel respected.
100%.
You're getting the characters you deserve.
No, they're written really well. I love the intelligence that these characters are given, and I was curious how much of that was on the page waiting for you, and how much did you guys kind of find and add as you were working on it and getting to know your characters?
Well, Chris Kaiser, this genius guy who wrote, and he's the showrunner, he had it all on the page for me. It was really all there. I mean, I had so many speeches I had to make. A lot of speeches, guys. And so it was really all there for me. I kind of just knew what to do. And he said that he likes it, so.
Well, he's a good guy. You can listen. You can trust him.
Yes.
He's got a couple of heavyweights under his belt.
Yeah, I think so.
So when you guys are working on this show, you're having your dinners and you're doing all this fun stuff. Like we said, it's a really smart show. It gets into, because you're rebuilding society, you're talking about criminal justice and gun control and social, all these heavy topics.
I know she's, like a senior, good think about going to college, and instead she's thinking about if people can keep their guns.
Yeah, exactly.
If people can all live in their houses that they grew up in. It's really strange.
The show asks a lot of really big questions and weighs a lot of different viewpoints. And I'm curious, did that ever spawn into a conversation off camera? Did you guys ever debate any of these things amongst each other and have these deep conversations?
For sure. I mean, I don't know how much we're allowed to talk about, but there are things that happen in the show where after the table read, we'd all look at each other and be like, are we really going to do this on a TV? It could... You have such a big influence in a power that cinema and TV both have to influence a generation. So we had things on the show that we shot, and then we said, we don't feel comfortable, we have to cut this out, and we would go back and reshoot. Rightfully so, because we know we have an audience, and there's a power and a responsibility to that. But even still, you want to be entertaining, and you don't want that to suffocate your creation or your imagination. You want to take a story there. You got to be fearless. So I will say I was pretty fearless. And I hope that it doesn't offend people. Because it's TV, okay? Yeah. It's a TV show.
Well, I think the great part is, even if it does, it starts a conversation.
It's definitely a conversation starter kind of show.
Absolutely, without question. It's going to start conversations. And I think they're good conversations to have right now, especially. It's such a relevant show in that way. How much of that mystery, though, because like I said, it is there. How much do they tell you? Do you know what's going on, or do they keep you in the dark?
I knew quite a bit going in because I needed to know.
Yeah.
I wanted to know what the show was going to be about before I said yes. But I really only read the first 3 episodes. So I was very confident in the first 3, and I knew kind of where Allie was going to go. And where she went, I think, changed as a result of us shooting. They were writing it as we went along, and the writers wrote for me. They were also really collaborative. The first time I met them in the writers' room, we talked about ideas. They didn't use any of my ideas, but that's okay. I didn't want them to. I didn't want them to. It was more just being a part of it to see what they were drawing from Allie and the other roles as well. It's not just about me and my experience. I wanted the whole show to be good. So it was just about everyone and every character.
Well, you should feel good. The whole show was good.
Oh, well, thanks.
Yeah, you guys did a great job.
Thanks, guys.
We're gonna, in just a second, we're gonna go over to audience, but we've talked about your globe trotting for Pokemon. We've talked about the society. In just a couple of weeks, 2 weeks, Big Little Lies season 2 comes out. That's a huge deal. I'm gonna hold for applause for Big Little Lies season 2, if we could, because that show. Amazing. So just briefly. What was that experience like getting back there at Reese again? It sounds like you got a little mentor-mentee relationship there, which is great.
Always. Reese is my girl.
Yeah.
She's my girl. I love Big Little Lies. This season was really fun because it felt like we were all coming back home. You know what I mean? And that set is the most professional set I've ever been on. We get on set. We don't even need rehearsal. We just go. We just shoot and we film, and there's magic. Every frame, there's magic. So I hope there's another season because I loved working on it.
I was going to ask, with so many incredibly talented individuals, are you intimidated the first day you walk into that set? Are you excited because you're going to learn so much?
Well,
what were you thinking?
So the first time in the first season, we had like a table read, and that was when I was first mostly intimidated because there was Laura Dern, Nicole Kidman, Reese Witherspoon, and I'd never been around that many stars ever. And Reese sat with me after the table read, and we just had lunch, and I got it immediately. Like, I'm there to do a job and to do my best. And she wanted me to do my best. And so then I was never nervous again. I just wanted to show up and kill it. And second season, I went up in the ranks, and they invited me to dinner once. They invited me to dinner in Monterey, so I had dinner with Meryl and Nicole and Shay and Zoe and Reese and Laura, and I was stunned, and I couldn't speak. I just couldn't. I just didn't know how to talk anymore. And Shay was like, Kathryn, you're not saying anything. And I was like, Shay, I literally can't. Like, I just need to listen.
Yeah. What do you, when you're in that company, what are you even going to add to that conversation?
What do I have to say
to all of them?
that's going to make it any more interesting? They were giving me advice about auditioning, and I was like telling them about auditioning, and they were like, what is that? I didn't even know. Meryl was like, oh, callbacks. I'm like, yeah. It's a thing I do.
Amazing. Is there, I love the one piece of advice that you shared a moment ago where Reese told you, take everybody out, have a dinner, do that fun thing. What, is there another little like nugget of wisdom that you carry with you that Reese has given you?
Well, yes. Okay, the first time I met Meryl was at the table read for the second season, and I saw her and froze like that. And Reese was like, Kathryn, you always say hi first. And I was like, okay. So, but of course, Reese introduced me, so that makes it easy. But that was really good advice. You know how sometimes you see people and you see them at a restaurant and like you don't know if they saw you too? Just say hi. Say hi first. I mean, that's like pretty straightforward for anybody.
Oh my gosh.
But I learned from them mostly, they're just really generous. Julia Roberts, Reese Witherspoon, they've been very generous to me. And that's what I've learned.
I love the idea of just going through life with like a Reese Witherspoon right here, just going, no, this is the way you do this thing every time. And it's like, got it, life lesson learned.
I've had that for like a couple years now. I'm like,
incredible.
Can we do another season, please?
Magical. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so excited for you for the Newtonian summer.
Oh my gosh, the Newtonian summer.
We're coining that right now. Hashtag Newtonian summer.
I want it on a t-shirt.
Congratulations on Detective Pikachu. Congratulations on The Society. Congratulations on Big Little Lies Season 2.
Thank you.
Let's get some questions from the outside world. Twitter is hitting us up. We've got one here from Sansa STRC. Sansa Star is pretty awesome. It says, Kat, what was your fave scene to film in The Society and your fave behind-the-scenes moment that happened while filming?
So my favorite scene to film in The Society was maybe there's this one scene where we have to do something really bad to somebody. And I just know, I always get moved by a scene that has everybody moved. When everyone is silent after a take on a set, you know that you've done something. So there's a scene with Dewey where we do something horrible. And I thought that scene changed me a lot. My favorite BTS moment, well, there's so many. But okay, so Toby Wallace plays Campbell and Elle is played by Olivia DeJonge. And we wrote a song while we were filming and we called it Massachusetts. So that was one of my favorite things. Just being around them. I mean, we were together all the time. They probably were sick of me. I got lucky because I got to have scenes with everyone, but I never got to hang out with anyone.
That's kind of the downside, right?
Yeah.
You're always working.
But I got to taste of everyone, you know?
That's pretty amazing. Is that song anywhere for anyone to listen?
Oh,
on
I'm
SoundCloud
sure that
secretly?
we could get it for you, but no, I'm not gonna sing it. Not without my friends. No.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Is that a thing you do often? You write fun little songs in the background while you're in between takes?
We're such actors. I mean, that's what actors do, right? We would take videos and we would make short skits. Literally such like theater dorks. Like that's who actors are. We're always writing poems and talking about our feelings and staring at each other. It's just
so
weird.
much fun.
Yeah, actors are awesome.
Fantastic. Kate, how many I got in the room? I've got 2 questions in the room. Fantastic. Perfect. Let's go to the first question. Microphone, do it up.
Hi.
So you're on so many sets and doing so many projects at the same time. I was wondering, what are some ways that you practice self-care to make sure you stay sane in the midst of everything?
That's a really good question. No one's ever asked me that before. How I said earlier, I watch The Office and take a bath. I take a bath every night. I don't care if I get home at 3 a.m. I'm going to take a bath to get everything off from the day and wash my freaking face, because you need to do that and you need to take care of yourself. And it's so easy to be like, oh, I don't need to take my makeup off or something. But the next day it adds up. So for me, I'm an athlete. I golf a lot, which sounds so nerdy, but endorphins. You gotta work out. Yeah.
It's a great question. I love that. But endorphins. Do I have time for one more? Yes, please. Microphone. Oh, right there. Perfect.
Hi.
Hey, so you achieved a personal childhood dream of mine of being in a Pokemon movie. So I was just wondering if there's any movie or TV show you grew up loving that you'd like to be in some big adaptation of.
To kid you not, Pokemon would have been my answer, hands down. I mean, I can't even believe I'm in a Pokemon film. You know what I'm saying? Before the premiere, Justice and I watched the original Pokemon movie together, and we were looking at each other this is strange. We're part of the Pokemon universe now. But maybe, it could have been something like Polly Pocket or something, or Bratz. I would have loved to be a Bratz doll. I was really into Barbies, so something like that.
That was a great question.
Thank you.
Those are both great questions, all of them, all three of them. Thank you for all your wonderful questions. Thank you, everybody watching, for tuning in and participating and sending us questions. And thank you for everybody for being here right now. I'll congratulate you one more time, and I'll remind the world that you can go see Detective Pikachu in theaters right now.
Number one movie in the world, right?
That's right, number one in the world. My God. The Society is on Netflix also right now. And Big Little Lies is coming to HBO season 2, I want to say June 8th. That's a really good estimate. It's coming very soon to HBO. So check out all of those things and celebrate the Newtonian summer with us. One more time, everybody, huge round of applause. Kathryn Newton, she's awesome. Let's do it up. Come on.